Okay, welcome back to Bone Slicer's UT3 Unreal Tournament 3 video tutorials. This is water tutorial part 3. Okay, let's get started here. What we're going to do is zoom in on diffuse. Going to highlight the diffuse and hold down Alt and left click there. We're going to disconnect our texture sample for the time being. And we're going to highlight it, hold down Alt, hold down Control and move it out of the way here for a little bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drag an add in here. Okay, and temporarily we're going to put an add right up here, top somewhere, and just click add. Okay, and then we're going to grab texture. Let's see here. Let's bring in a texture coordinate and drag that over here. Move that up a little bit by holding down the Alt key. And what we're going to do is come out of the texture coordinate and to the top of the add, connect that. And then we're going to have a setting for this texture coordinate. If you highlight it, we want to take our setting for the texture coordinate, and it's going to be 0.5000. Whoops. 0.5000. There we go. And the U tiling and V tiling. Okay, and we'll scroll up a little bit, and for a description in here, we can just put face the sky to render. We'll put that in there. And then hit enter. Once you do that, and also if you want to, right here you can take your U tiling and you can right click and copy, and besides face the sky to render, hit the spacebar one time and just go ahead and paste that in there and hit enter again, and that way you'll automatically be able to see what you have in there for face the sky to render. See, that's under description. So there you go. So we have that done. So what we want to do now is let's just go ahead and add another multiplier in here. So let's go down to multiply and add that in right here. And let's add a constant. So go up to a constant. It's a regular constant. Add that in right here. And let's bring this. Let's see here. Let's bring in a multiplier. Let's bring that in some. And then just right click on it and duplicate the multiplier. And move that back here. So we'll have two. Let's take this and plug this into this one. Just like so. And all you do is left click and drag it over and it plugs in. And take our constant. And we're going to take our constant and plug that into the first multiplier. Okay, there we go. And what we're going to do on our constant is change that. So if you highlight it and come down to the setting here on the bottom, highlight that and change that to 3.000 and hit enter. Okay, now you have that setting there for you. Now what you do in the description, you can do the same thing as before. If you want to go type in constant, alright, and then put a space and then go ahead and copy your setting there and there. Just paste that in there and hit enter again, and it'll have your setting and your constant there for you. And this multiplier here, what this is doing, this is going to combine the two. So we want to put that in the description right here. That combines the two. Hit enter. And now that's in there. Say you can put anything you want in the description. I just like to keep up with what's going on here. And as far as your ad, let's take your ad and highlight that, and then hold down Control and highlight both of them. You can move them both at the same time. And let's move this up out of the way. Take all this. You can take, here's what you can do. You can take Control, Alt, and then drag over all of it, and then hold down Control, and you can move it all if you want, just like that. And I'm going to take my ad and highlight, just click the background again. Now take my ad, go from my multiplier into my ad, and we have that taken care of. Now what I want to do is add a couple components here. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my texture sample, move that out of the way here, and I'm going to come up here to where it says component, and I'm going to take my component and move it here, and it's a component mask. And what I'm going to do is right click, duplicate it, and move it down again. And I'm going to take my component mask, this one here, and come into the back of the multiplier, as so. And then my then the bottom component mask, I'm going to come into the other part of the multiplier, like so. Now, it already says mask on it, so you really don't have to add component mask if you don't want to. But this is what we can do is just highlight it, and come down to the bottom here. And for description, this is actually red and green only. This is let's see, R and G only, and hit enter. And actually I should have capitalized that, made it look a little bit better. Hit enter. There we go. And now I can copy that, get to the next one, paste it in there, hit enter there, and it's the same for both of them, R and G only. Now for our texture sample for water normal, let's go ahead and duplicate that by right clicking on it and left click on duplicate, Control, drag it down. Now let's go into the back of texture sample into our mask, just by dragging over, just like that there. I want to move this in some, this in some. Okay, now let's add a couple panners. So go over to our panner and just left click, drag the first panner, duplicate it, bring it down, bring that up, like so. Okay, and we're going to change, we'll go ahead and plug these in. Now we'll highlight the top one and change the Y and X. On the X on the first one is going to be 0.01, and for the Y it's going to be 0.0075. Okay, and for the next panner, for the speed X, it's going to be negative 0.01. And then for the Y, it's going to be negative 0.25. 0.025, I'm sorry. Okay, there. Now we have our panner. Now, I'm getting close to my time here, so real quick, let's add a couple more texture coordinates in here. One here, and duplicate that. Move that up there. Move this back here. Now, for our top texture coordinates, let's first plug it into the top here of our panner on both of them. And for our top one, let's highlight that. And for the U tile and the V tile, change it to 20.60. Hit enter. Same thing here for the U-tiling. Okay, and for the bottom one, let's change that U-tiling to 30.000, and same for V-tiling. Okay, and we're right at 10 minutes, so that concludes making our A group just about here. So I'm going to have to stop this tutorial. Thank you for watching part 3.